Today we're going to examine this baby for signs and symptoms of withdrawal using the neonatal abstinence scoring system tool. This baby is now 3 days old, and she was born to a mother who was taking methadone during her pregnancy. The baby has been quite irritable, and in fact we've just kind of gotten her to settle down. So I'm going to go through the steps of the exam and point out the signs and symptoms of withdrawal that are present, and then at the end we'll go ahead and score the baby using the NAS tool. So now, since the baby is quiet, what I'm going to do is count the baby's respirations, and I'm just going to lay my hand on her. So she seems to be comforted by that, and I can see and feel her breathing, so I don't need a stethoscope right now. I can do her respirations just by what I see and what I feel. So I'm going to do that right now. Her respiratory rate is 74. And I'm going to take her temperature. Take an axillary temperature. Her temperature is 98.8. Okay, and we're looking at the baby's behavior, and you can visibly see tremors of her hands and of her arms. So when we talk about tremors, we want to look at it in terms of whether they're mild, moderate, or severe. The fact that her whole arm and hand are tremoring, that would indicate that this baby is having moderate to severe tremors. So I'm going to unwrap her to see what her activity is. I'm going to take her little booties off so we can see her feet. See if she has tremor of her feet. And you can see she also has tremors not only of her feet, maybe she'll do it again, but of her entire extremities. And she just yawned, so that's something you need to take note of. Let's see if she wants this little pacifier. Would you like that? Hmm? Good girl. Okay. Okay. You can see she's continuing to have tremors. I'm going to look at her chest to see if she has any mottling. Here you go. Here you go. Okay. Okay, so we're looking for mottling, and I don't see any mottling on her skin at all. And one of the things we want to take notice of is her ability to self-console. And she's been continuously crying on and off, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Here you go. Here you go. Okay, okay, okay. Here you go. up a little bit before we check for tone. Here we go. Oh, she's very unhappy. Okay, okay. Here you go. Okay. I think she has a dirty diaper is what I think. Okay, let me check her diaper. Oh, she just has a wet diaper. She has no stool, she's just wet. And her bottom is not exfoliated. I'm just going to leave her a second to see if she'll self-console at all. So we're not disturbing her right now, we're giving her an opportunity to see if she can self-console. And for continuous crying, we want to look to see how long it takes for her to self-console and look for the longest period of crying that she has. Normally babies will self-console in about 15 seconds, but you can see that she's not able to do that. And you can see that she's having a hyperactive Mara reflex. And we'll also test for her reflex, her Mara reflex. Okay, she's quieting down a little bit, but she's not maintaining it for 15 seconds. So what we're going to do is we're going to check her tone. I'm pulling her up. And we're going to check her Mara reflex. I'm going to do that again. Okay. The tone, she's got a little bit of increased tone, but her tone is not bad at all. Okay, and she's got a normal Mara reflex. Okay, sweet girl. Let's see if I can comfort you. Come on. Come on. Come on, good girl. Okay. And I want to check for sweating, and I don't see any sweating. Here we go, here we go. Here we go, here we go. Come on, come on. Okay, you notice she's continuing to cry. And we score that based on how long she cries, and she's probably been crying for about 5 minutes now, but she can't seem to self-console. Another way to check for tone is to bend her. She's pretty tight when you bend her knees. And I don't see any clonus. Okay, sweetie. Okay. Let's check the tone. Okay. So she has a slight increase in tone. Okay, sweet girl. Check her her a bit now. And we'll look to see how long she's been sleeping. Okay, calm down. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. And you listen to her breathing, and I don't hear any nasal stuffiness. And I don't see any nasal drainage. And she hasn't sneezed during the exam. One thing to remember is that the exam time period would be at any signs that she's demonstrated from the last scoring time, which was at 4 p.m. And this is now the 7 o'clock p.m. scoring. She's not really sucking well on the pacifier. She can't seem to grasp it. There she goes. And she has been experiencing some excessive sucking. Which, there you go. There you go. Okay. So she's continuing to cry and can't seem to console her. Okay. Okay. Good girl. Good girl. And what we need to do is we need to look back at the record to see how long she has slept within the 3-hour period from the exam that was done at 3 o'clock to the exam that's being done now. And basically, as I look at this, she has not slept any longer than 45 minutes. So basically, she would get scored for sleeps less than 1 hour after a feeding. Yeah, she's calming down now. And also, if we look at her record for sneezing and yawning, she did have one episode of yawning at 4 o'clock. And she did yawn once during this exam. So basically she's yawned 2 times within this 3-hour period. She hasn't had any problem with feeding. She has had no regurgitation. She doesn't have loose stools. She doesn't have any vomiting. But you can see her respiratory rate is rapid. So hopefully I'm going to try to put her down and see if she'll stay quiet. And then we'll go through the scoring sheet itself. Okay. And you notice how she likes to be swaddled, and she likes to have boundaries. Okay, so as we go through the scoring, we're looking at crying. And on the sheet, we look at crying excessively high-pitched or continuous crying. I wouldn't say her cry was high-pitched, But again, going by the definitions, she was not able to self-console in 15 seconds, and she did continue to cry for more than 5 minutes, so she would get a score of 3. As I described, her longest sleep period was less than 1 hour, so that would be a 3. Okay, and looking at her moral reflex, she did have a hyperactive moral reflex that you saw as the baby startled herself, so she would get a score of 2. Tremors, she did display moderate to severe tremors, which included tremoring of the hands, the arms, the feet, and the legs, so that would be a score of 2. And we saw that while she was being disturbed, and we also saw that when she was undisturbed, so that would give her a score of 4. Increased